Welcome back for another deep dive.
Always fun to go deep into something new.
Right. And this time we're looking at something you sent over, actually, this business stimulus plan.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, someone named Vernice Monroe from Kansas City. She's got a whole speech about it.
And if I'm remembering right, she's claiming some pretty impressive results, like an extra $43,000 in income.
43,000. So we got to find out more. Is it hype or is there something real here?
Yeah, let's get into it.
So she kicks off the speech by talking about this article she read about how the average American household needs to earn like almost $1,500 more in 2024 just to keep up with 2023's cost of living.
Ooh, yeah, that's rough.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Like, it really sets the stage for why people are looking for new income streams.
Big time.
So then we meet Vernice, and she drops this story about calling herself the stimulus package on an airplane years
Yeah,
ago.
hold on. What?
I know, right? Bold move.
Definitely makes you wonder what kind of personality we're dealing with here.
Okay, so her business is Mary Kay, right? Cosmetics.
Yeah. Right?
And she really seems to emphasize, like, selling products people actually love.
Yeah.
And, providing good customer service.
Yeah, those are the foundations she's laying, but she gets way more specific too.
Oh, how so?
So she zeroed in on 8 products for this business stimulus plan of hers, and most of them are skincare. There's this Hydra Session thing, which is like a 3-put treatment. But the real star, it seems, is this dynamic wrinkle limiter.
Wrinkle limiter, huh?
Yeah, they call it DWL for short.
That's smart. I bet people are really interested in that kind of thing.
I mean, who wouldn't want to, turn back the clock a little?
Right. And she's not messing around with the claims either. She actually says it's 76% as effective as injectables.
76%.
Wow. I mean, whether there's research to back that up is another
It's
story.
definitely something to look into.
But still, even if it's, half as effective, at a fraction of the cost, I bet people would be interested.
Oh, absolutely. So how does this DWL fit into her plan to make that extra $43,000?
Yeah.
That's the big question.
Okay, so her goal is to sell 4 Hydra Sessions and 10 DWLs every month.
Every month, okay?
And based on the retail prices she gives, that's like $1,816 for those Hydra Sessions.
Wow.
And another $2,792 for the DWLs. So that's over $4,600 in sales each month just from those 8 products.
Dang, that's not bad at all. So is that where the $43,000 comes from?
Not entirely.
Right.
This is a business that thrives on repeat customers, right?
Makes sense.
So she factors in people reordering these products.
Mm-hmm.
She estimates they'll buy them like 4 times a year.
4 times a year.
Yeah. And even says that might be conservative. Especially for that DWL. If people see results, they're going to keep buying it.
Makes sense. So how does that translate into the income boost? So if she hits those sales numbers consistently and factors in the reorders, she's looking at about $87,134 in total retail sales. And with a 50% profit margin, which is typical for Mary Kay, that gives her an income increase of around $43,567.
Okay, so the $43,000 is doable based on her numbers. But how does she actually plan to make those sales happen?
She breaks it down into a few key things. She really believes in hosting 16 Hydra Session guests a month.
16 guests a month. That's a lot of facials.
It is. It's all about showcasing the product, and hopefully converting those guests into buyers.
So how does she suggest finding 16 people every month?
She's a big fan of both in-person and virtual appointments, like using Zoom or Facebook Live.
Interesting. So basically, you got to be out there hustling constantly.
Yeah, networking, building relationships, the whole 9 yards.
And then even if you get those guests to try it out, she's working with a conversion rate of 1 in 4 for those Hydra Sessions.
Right. So for every 4 people who try the treatment, 1 will buy the full skincare set.
That makes sense.
Yep.
So it's not just about that initial sale. It's about the follow-up and encouraging those reorders to build a loyal customer base.
Exactly.
Okay, so we're starting to see how all the pieces fit together. But is finding 16 new people every month realistic for everyone? Like, what if you're just starting out and don't have a huge network?
That's a good point. It would definitely require some creative thinking.
And this is where that analogy comes in. The one she quotes from a retired Mary Kay national named Cindy Williams.
Oh, yeah.
She says, "We're starving in an orchard."
Starving in an orchard. Huh. That's an interesting way to put it.
Right. So what do you think she means by that?
It's like saying we're surrounded by opportunity, but we're not seeing it or not taking advantage of it.
So in this case, the orchard would be like the potential of the DWL and the whole Mary Kay business model.
Exactly. If you've got a product people want a good plan and you're willing to put in the work, success is within reach.
That's the idea she's selling. But realistically, is it that simple? I mean, it takes more than just recognizing opportunity, right? You need skills resources, maybe even a little luck.
You're absolutely right. It's not just about seeing the potential. It's about having the ability to actually, make the most of it.
So while her plan sounds great on paper,
Yeah.
we should approach it with a healthy dose of realism. It's not a guaranteed ticket to success.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
But it does offer some food for thought.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I'm curious about your take on this. Could this kind of approach work for other businesses beyond Mary Kay? Are there any key takeaways we could apply more broadly?
Now, that is a great question, and one we'll dive into right after the break. So to answer your question about applying this to other businesses, I think there are some really important takeaways here.
Yeah, like what specifically?
Well, first of all, focusing on a few key products or services,
Yeah.
things that you really believe in. Vernice's passion for that Hydra session and the DWL is obvious.
Yeah, you can definitely tell she's excited about it.
Yeah, you can definitely tell she's excited about it. And I think that authenticity makes a big difference.
Right, if you're not passionate about it, why should anyone else be?
Exactly. Another thing is having a clear plan.
Mm-hmm.
Vernice knows her goals, her sales targets, and how she's going to get there.
So it's not just about working hard.
Mm.
It's about working smart.
Right. Having a roadmap keeps you focused, and you can actually track your progress.
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, there's consistent effort and good customer service.
Oh, yeah, that's crucial. No matter what you're selling. Building a business takes time, and you got to be willing to go the extra mile for your customers.
So even though not everything about Vernice's plan might apply to every business,
Mm-hmm.
there are definitely some core principles that are pretty universal.
Absolutely. And I think what's really interesting here is how she takes this big goal, like earning an extra $43,000,
Right.
and breaks it down into smaller, more manageable steps.
Yeah, it's like reverse engineering success.
Exactly. But let's be real for a second. Do you think this plan is actually achievable for everyone?
That's a good question. I mean, I'm a little skeptical about that whole 16 guests per month thing,
Yeah, that's a lot of facials.
especially if you're just starting out and your network isn't that big.
Right, you'd have to be putting in some serious effort to find that many people every month.
And even then, there's no guarantee they'll actually buy anything.
Exactly. Sales skills are important too. You got to be able to present the products, handle objections, and build trust.
And Vernice's plan relies a lot on those reorders, too.
Yeah, that's key. It's about building those long-term relationships with customers.
Providing great service, following up. It's a whole thing.
It's not just a one-time sale.
And I'm also thinking about that starving in an orchard analogy.
Right.
It's catchy,
Mm-hmm.
but isn't there more to success than just recognizing opportunity?
Definitely. I think you need skills, resources, and maybe even some luck to really capitalize on it.
So it's not enough to just see the potential.
You got to have the ability to make it happen.
Maybe invest in training, develop your sales skills, find mentors.
Yeah, all of that plays a role. And there are external factors too, like competition market trends, things you can't always control.
So even though Vernice's plan is inspiring, we should be realistic about it.
Absolutely. It's not some magic formula for instant riches.
But it does offer some valuable insights.
For sure. And I think what resonates with me the most is that shift in mindset.
Oh, yeah. How she sees opportunity everywhere.
It's like she's choosing to focus on abundance instead of limitations.
Like with that starving in an orchard thing, it really changes your perspective.
And I think that applies to so much more than just selling cosmetics.
Totally. It's about any goal we set for ourselves.
Do we see the obstacles or the possibilities?
It's a choice, right? And Vernice seems to choose optimism and action.
And if we connect it to the bigger picture,
Yeah.
it's a reminder that belief is powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Vernice believes in her products, her plan, her ability to succeed,
And that belief drives her forward.
and inspires others too.
It's like that saying, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right.
Exactly. So I think our listener can really learn from that, whether they're starting a business or just trying to achieve a personal goal.
So what does all of this mean for someone who's listening and thinking about their own orchard of opportunity?
It's a reminder that success often starts with a clear vision, a solid plan, and belief in yourself.
Oh.
Don't be afraid to dream big, but break those big goals down into smaller steps.
Right.
Find mentors, build a support network, and most importantly, choose to see the abundance of possibilities around you.
That's great advice. And I think it's a perfect note to end on. We've explored Vernice's business stimulus plan, analyzed its potential, and uncovered some universal truths about achieving success.
We've talked about the numbers, the strategies, and the mindset.
But we want to leave you, our listener, with one final thought. What's your orchard of opportunity? What are you passionate about? And are you ready to step into that abundance and make your dreams a reality? It's like she's saying, look, the opportunity is all around you. Are you going to take it or not?
And I think that ties into a bigger idea about the power of belief.
Yeah, totally.
Vernice clearly believes in herself and her business, and that's a big part of why she's successful.
It's like she's inspiring other people to believe in her too, just by believing in herself so strongly.
Exactly. So I think that's something our listeners can really take away from this.
For sure.
No matter what goals you're trying to achieve, belief is key.
It all comes back to mindset, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It's like that saying, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right.
So true.
Yeah.
So for someone who's listening to this and maybe thinking about their own goals, what's the big takeaway here?
I think it's a reminder that success often starts with a clear vision and a plan.
Right.
But you also have to believe in yourself and your ability to make it happen.
And don't be afraid to dream big, but break those big goals down into smaller steps.
Exactly. Find mentors. Surround yourself with people who support you. And most importantly, choose to see the possibilities instead of the limitations.
It's about focusing on that abundance, like Vernice said.
Exactly. That's where the real magic happens.
I love that. So to wrap things up, we've taken a deep dive into Vernice's business stimulus plan, and I think we've uncovered some really valuable insights.
We've looked at the numbers, the strategies, and the mindset.
And hopefully our listeners are feeling inspired to go out there and create their own success stories.
Absolutely. Because at the end of the day, it's all about taking action and making those dreams a reality.
And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.